Alright, in this video, I'm going to walk through these AP Stats multiple choice questions step by step and explain them in the simplest way possible. So take a look at question 1. The XYZ office supplies company sells calculators in bulk at wholesale prices, as well as individually at retail prices. Next year's sales depend on market conditions, but executives use probability to find estimates of sales for the coming year. The following tables are estimates for next year's sales. So those are the two tables. What profit does XYZ Office Supplies Company expect to make for the next year if the profit from each calculator sold is $20 at wholesale and $30 at retail? Okay, so we're given two separate distributions, wholesale sales and retail sales, each with probabilities. We want to find the expected total profit. First, focus on wholesale. To find expected value, we do sum of value times probability. So for wholesale, 2,000 times 0.1 plus 5,000 times 0.3 plus 10,000 times 0.4 plus 20,000 times 0.2. When you calculate that, you get the expected number of wholesale units. Then multiply that by $20 profit per unit. Now do the same for retail. 600 times 0.4 plus 1,000 times 0.5 plus 1,500 times 0.1. That gives expected retail units. Then multiply by $30 per unit. Finally, add wholesale profit and retail profit together. You get 2,200, 700, so the answer is B. So this number. Okay, go into for question 2. In a certain game, a fair die is rolled and a player gains 20 points if the die shows a 6. If the die does not show a 6, the player loses 3 points. If the die were to be rolled 100 times, what would be the expected total gain or loss for the player? So a fair die is rolled. If you get a 6, you gain 20 points. Otherwise, you lose 3 points. That's basically what the question is talking about. So first, find expected value for one row. Probability of 6 is 1 over 6, and probability of not 6 is 5 over 6. So expected value is 20 times 1 over 6 plus negative 3 times 5 over 6. That becomes 20 over 6 minus 15 over 6, which equals 5 over 6, or about 0.83. Now multiply by 100 rows. 0.83 times 100 is about 83. So the answer is C, a gain of about 83 points. Okay, moving on to question 3. A nonprofit organization plans to hold a raffle to raise funds for its operations. A total of 1,000 raffle tickets will be sold for $1 each. After all the tickets are sold, one ticket will be selected at random and its owner will receive $50. The expected value for the net gain for each ticket is negative $0.95. What is the meaning of the expected value in this context? Okay, so what the question is talking about is a raffle ticket costs $1. Expected value is negative 0.95. What does that mean? Expected value represents the average outcome over many trials. So this means on average, a person loses 95 cents per ticket. So the correct interpretation is the ticket owners lose an average of 0.95 per ticket. Answer is B. Okay, moving on to question 4. A summer resort rents robots to customers but does not allow more than 4 people to a boat. Each boat is designed to hold no more than 800 pounds. Suppose the distribution of adult males who rent boats, including their clothes and gear, is normal with a mean of 190 pounds and standard deviation of 10 pounds. If the weights of individual passengers are independent, what is the probability that a group of 4 adult male passengers will exceed the acceptable weight limit of 800 pounds? Okay, so the question is pretty long, but it's basically saying each adult male weight is normally distributed. Mean is 190, standard deviation is 10. We have 4 people and we want the total weight. So for sums, mean adds. So 4 times 190 equals 760. And standard deviation does not just add. We add variance first, square root of variance then. So square root of 10 squared plus 10 squared plus 10 squared plus 10 squared. So you can also shorten that as 4 times 10 squared. That is square root of 400, which equals 20. So total weight is mean 760, standard deviation 20. We want probability that total exceeds 800. Convert to z-score. 800 minus 760 divided by 20 equals 2. Now look up z equal to 2. The probability of being greater than 2 is about 0.023. So the answer is A. Okay, moving on to question 5. A company sells concrete in batches of 5 cubic yards. The probability distribution of X, the number of cubic yards sold in a single order for concrete from this company, is shown in the table below. The expected value of the probability distribution of X is 19.25, and the standard deviation is 5.76. There is a fixed cost to deliver the concrete. The profit Y in dollars for a particular order can be described by Y equal to 75x minus 100. What is the standard deviation of Y? So we're given Y equals 75x minus 100, and we want the standard deviation of Y. So the key rule right here is when you multiply by a constant, standard deviation also multiplies. Adding or subtracting does not change standard deviation. So standard deviation of Y equals 75 times standard deviation of X. That is 75 times 5.76 equals 432. So the answer is B, 432. Pretty quick one, huh? Okay, last but not least, question 6. This company makes bars for weightlifting. The weights of the bars are independent and are normally distributed with a mean of 720 ounce or 45 pounds and a standard deviation of 4 ounce. The bars are shipped 10 in a box to the retailers. The weights of the empty boxes are normally distributed with a mean of 320 ounces and a standard deviation of 8 ounces. The weights of the boxes filled with 10 bars are expected to be normally distributed with a mean of 7,520 ounces and a standard deviation of what? Okay, so summarize a little bit for the question. We have 10 bars and 1 empty box. Each bar has standard deviation 4. The box has standard deviation 8. We are finding the total standard deviation. Again, we add variance. Square root of 10 times 4 squared plus 8 squared. That is 10 times 16 plus 64, which is 160 plus 64 equals 224. Square root of 224 is the answer. So the answer is C. Okay, so that's all for this video.